Tell me if this sounds familiar. Your life looks really good on the outside, but on the inside, it feels a little flat, a little gray. Like you're not fully inside of your own life. That was me a few years ago. Like on paper, nothing was wrong, but inside, something felt very, very wrong. And I didn't know how to fix it. I didn't even have language for it. But what I didn't realize then is that it was completely possible to feel turned on by life again. Like I really didn't think it was. It was to feel alive in my body again. I just didn't know how to get there yet. And that is what we're talking about in this episode. And I remember looking at my life and thinking, this should feel better than it does. Like I did everything right. I built the life, things are working. So why do I feel so flat? Like, what is wrong with me? And there was this moment of panic, like, wait, is this just how it is now? Like, is this it? Is this it? Did I lose something? And the scariest part is I did not know if I could get it back. So, Barbara, what the fuck is that moment? Like, everything looks right on the outside. And I know you've had it too. But everything looks right on the outside, but your body is telling you a completely different story. Like, why? What does that mean?
Well, I think it's like this concept of, your life looks really good, but I feel nothing. I'm
Yeah.
totally numbed out.
Yeah.
It's like the gray zone where it's like you have all of this success, this outward success. It matches everything you've been taught to achieve, to get, and you got it. And on the outside, you look perfect. You have strived for perfection. You have achieved what you consider to be perfection in terms of partnership, romantic partnership, family, work, business, career, like physical appearance, right? You have like, that's it. You've gotten to these places of like perfectionism and performance, right? And pretending that this is it because that's like what the good girl does. And then you're like in this gray zone because it's success without turn on. It's the success with turn off, which is like the numbness.
Yeah.
Like you are living from the neck up, and it's like, is this it? And a lot of times we, like women, are socialized to get together and hang out with one another and, complain about what's not working, what's this and that, not really going to the deeper thing, which is it's not that there aren't things that aren't working, but it's like there's this emptiness that no one talks about.
Yeah, actually, I'm so glad you said that because when I was going through my dark night of the soul or whatever we fucking call this experience,
Yeah.
um, I didn't talk about it.
Don't talk
Like,
about it, right?
we would hang out with my girlfriends and we'd end up talking, we'd be complaining about perimenopause symptoms or our partners or what, like you'd find something, politics, the neighbor, whatever. But I didn't even have the language around this. I felt so deeply like something was wrong with me, or maybe nothing was wrong with me. Maybe this is just what happens at this age and no one's talking about it because it's fucking depressing. And it was almost like I could almost taste what it used to be like. I could almost like hear the lyrics of the song, but couldn't quite get them right. Something like that. You know what I mean? Like I could see it, but it was black and white instead of color. Like I can't quite think of the right metaphor, but it's so right there. And yet you don't know what to talk about. But the thing that really like surfaced it for me was when I would find myself in the company or in the same room with a woman who was turned on by her
Right.
life, who was still lit up. And I'm not talking about like 15-year-olds or,
Right.
what I mean, or children who are like brand new to life, but like an adult woman in my peer group who had that spark. I was so jealous. I was no longer jealous of like the one who accomplished the thing or had
Right.
the
Right.
like I had those things. It was the energy, the aliveness, and I was like, what is she on? How do I get some of that?
Right. So it's like I totally relate to that so
Yeah.
much. And it's like those women are rare. They're
Yeah.
rare because like I also had that same experience. Like I had when I was younger, I was that woman and I was taught to push it down and it was natural for me. And then when I did push it down because it was too much or too slutty or whatever, or people are going to think the wrong thing about you, like I found myself completely dead and numbed out inside. And then I was led to Mama Gina, and this
Hmm.
woman is like 25, 30 years older than me. And I'm like, I was floored.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, wait a second. She's hot. She's
Yeah.
sexy. She knows shit. Like this woman knows secrets that
Yeah.
women should know
Yeah.
without even having a conversation with her, without even like, I'm like, you could see from the way she moves and the way she speaks and the way she holds herself and the way she dresses that she is internally fulfilled. She is glowing. She is radiant. Men
Yeah.
are receptive to her. Women are receptive to her. And I was like, I have no idea what she's on, but that
Yeah.
is where I'm fucking going
Yeah.
because
And you know
this
what? She was on fucking pleasure, which is
pleasure,
what is really the like the
pleasure, pleasure, pleasure.
spoiler. It's a diet of
Pleasure.
pleasure. Yeah.
Pleasure. And it's like,
Pleasure.
it's like this is how it starts. It's like, once you achieve like the successes that we were all taught on paper,
Hmm.
like the boxes that we should check, it's like this moment of like, wait, now I have everything. So instead of being able to like be like, okay, I have everything, everything's great, and feel that fulfillment that you think these things would bring you,
Yeah.
because um, they fulfilled the list that your parents, society, everyone, they don't. It starts like, looking at yourself in the mirror and thought like, I should be happy. Everything's great. Everyone's healthy. We have money. We're going on vacations, clothes, whatever.
Yeah.
But something feels off, right? Like
Yeah.
that, like there's something off. That's like desire whispering to you. Like desire is life coming through you. Like I
Yeah.
really strongly believe that. And the thing is, your desire to be lit up from the inside out is not on that list.
Yeah, and I want to actually talk about what like why do we end up this way? So because so many women are having this experience. This isn't just me, this isn't just you. Like we're doing a whole episode about this because we hear this constantly from the women that join us inside the Sensual Sisterhood or work with us as clients in one of our other containers. It's common. Like go on Instagram or whatever and there's lots of posts about women our age having this experience of my life's pretty good, but something's missing and I'm not sure what it is, but I'm losing it. So let's talk about how we get here because we don't just it doesn't happen overnight, right? You don't wake up
Right.
one day and all of a sudden you feel flat. It's been happening for a while. You may just suddenly wake up one day and really feel it, but it's been building. And I know for me, I think it was a process of responsibility in my life increasing as it does in adulthood, right? Becoming a wife, becoming a mother, becoming a business owner, all these things that increase the amount of responsibility and stress and like control that I feel like I need to have. But then there's also this underpinning of like cultural conditioning, right? That's been there since birth of this is how you should be if you want to be a good girl, if you want people to like you. You should not be too loud or too attention seeking. You should take care of other people first and consider their needs first. You should not brag about things. You should be humble. You should not be selfish. You should work hard first and then get rewards later. So my point is there's this like tidal wave that over and over and over again of conditioning that says desire or pleasure is frivolous, indulgent. It's a reward for after the fact. And if you are good and worthy and lovable, you will sacrifice and you will suffer and you will grip control tightly and behave within this little cage we've given you.
I just want to give specific examples of what we're really, really talking about. And it's like, are you someone who, when you wake up in the morning, so you've figured out to how to handle anxiety, so there's no dread anymore, but there's also no excitement either. It's like just everything feels flat, just another day. It's like neutral, like blah, or your day is all about the to-do list, checking the boxes, emails, the workout, the responsibilities, the picking up the kids, the dropping off the kids, like, but nothing actually lands. Or like you're out in a social setting with people who you love, friends, family, whoever, you're laughing in conversations, but you're like internally like feeling slightly performative.
Yeah.
Like I'm laughing, like, is that even like my natural laugh? Like you could hear,
Right.
like I've had that experience. Like I just laugh because it's like basically on cue, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm half there, but I'm half in my head and I'm not really present in that social setting experience that's supposed to be the fun part of the life, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm scrolling, I'm snacking, I'm sipping wine, fucking trying to feel something, and the more I am, I'm numbed out. Like I wouldn't even eat at the table. I would eat like over the sink, shoving food into my face and be like, all right, gotta go do the next thing. Like eating was just to like, I need nourishment because I need energy, and then I go. Like there was no stopping to sit down, to taste the food, to chew the
Yes.
food.
Yeah.
Like if you're living life like that, this keep listening.
Yeah. So
Like
my
I
work phone was always like I'd be in the shower and I'd be thinking about something in the future they need to plan, or like playing back a conversation that was pissing me off in my head. So I'm in the past, I'm in the future, I'm done with the shower, and then I'm like, wait a minute, did I even shampoo my hair? And I have no idea because I
right.
was like, this.
Yeah, because you're thinking about, right, exactly. Like, oh my God, did I even have coffee? Did I have coffee? I don't remember because it's like I have the coffee and I put everything away. So I'm like I would forget because there's so much noise in here. And then like I don't know, like what the fuck? Like
Yeah.
it's like this like robotic experience. And then there was like that show, some people may have watched it, maybe not, like on Netflix called Sex Life. And the woman, did you watch it? Did you see that show, Sex
Mm-mm.
Life? Oh my God,
I
it's
missed
really good for the purposes of this, but what pisses me off is it made it about, it's this woman the woman we're describing, and she just has like a second baby, I think, and then an ex comes back into her life and she has this perfect life with this gorgeous man. They even have sex, and she's like, but the ex like is like the hot one with this adventurous life they had. And the problem with that show for me was always like they made it about her like wanting to be with the ex, but what happened really in the show, if you really go deep, is that like it brought her back to a time where she used to feel desire. Like she used to feel that hunger, that creativity. And then she like moved to Connecticut with this golf, like,
Yeah.
corporate executive, and everything got boring, because
Yeah.
that wasn't really aligned with her desire. It was really more about, checking the boxes so that her parents would approve, right? Like,
Right.
or like, you know, are you like having, so this is where it happened for me, really it got really intense because me and my partner chose not to have children. So I was like, I'm gonna have this hot ass sex life, like that's what's gonna happen. But then sex became like, that's a whole different story, but like it was not satisfying. And it was like something like I was like, I should want this,
Yeah.
but I don't.
We hear
Something's
that all the time
wrong.
too from women
Something's
who
wrong. Something's
love their
wrong. Like,
partners. Like
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with the relationship, but the desire isn't there. And again, and then we get into these conversations about, is it my libido? Is it hormones? Is it aging? Is it all that stuff? It's all the same thing. Like all these things play a role. It's a cumulative effect of
it's
how we
cumulative.
dampen
Yes.
our own light and our own turn on, how we stop like throwing logs into the fire that is our life force energy. That's really what it's about. And often the first place we notice it is sex, because if we
Right.
do have a partner that we love and we want to be intimate with, and suddenly that desire is not there, it's like really concerning. It's such an important piece of how we stay close and connected. It might take you longer to notice it if you're not in a relationship where like that's a thing, but your sexual health is actually very indicative of your overall health. It's not just about like
100%.
carnal pleasures. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
more,
yeah. It's like that's like, the life force, and it's how we were made. Like
yeah,
that is the main ingredient, right? We
yeah,
came from that creation, that energy,
yeah,
and we are effectively doing everything subconsciously to turn it off, literally.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then we get to a point in our life and we have all of the things we've efforted for, right? And we're like, why doesn't this feel better? Because you're not supposed to fucking effort.
yes, yeah. And so here's what I think is the most frustrating. Like you and I hear women make this statement all the time about how they don't feel as alive, they don't feel as turned on, they don't feel desire, libido, all this stuff, right? Like look through all our episodes, they're all about this topic in some way. This is a constant thing we hear. What's frustrating, I think, is how many women think that it's like they're a personal failing, number one. Number two, that it can't really be changed because this is just what happens at this age, unless you like get on a bunch of hormone replacement, which may help actually, but that's not the whole answer, right? But it feels like this is it and it's not going to get better. That is absolutely what I felt. And that's what made me
Yeah,
so depressed was like, okay, I guess this is just the season of life where I'm like, just jealous of people who feel more alive than me because I'm closer to death, right?
right,
No, that
right.
is not.
It's
We
so
are here to say
cute.
that is not
It's so
true.
cute. Yeah, yeah.
Not true. It's what they want you to believe, like the patriarchy and whatever. There's all these systems in place that keep women there, in part because this is actually the time where we have the most power potentially if we can step back into it. But I don't want to. I don't want to go there right now. My point is, it is not your fault. You have not done anything wrong. You've been conditioned into this place and you've allowed the only thing you're guilty of is sort of allowing it to happen, but you also didn't know better. But now that you feel the pain, you can change it.
But I just want to say this, like, if you are listening to this and you do like resonate with the examples that we were giving, it's
Yeah.
actually still like that is your desire, like trying to get your attention. And that is the
Yeah.
beginning of the libido. That is the very start. That is the jump off of the libido being like, bring me back. Help
Yes.
me, help me, help you. It is
Yeah.
actually talking to you because if you have that like discomfort of like, wait, why am I not happier? Why am I feeling unfulfilled? Like, I think one of the things we do is we avoid it because we're like, we have everything on the external. So,
Yes.
like, I should, and make ourselves wrong, right? But
Yeah.
instead of being like, wait, there's a voice inside me that is craving something and your libido is offline because your body is that genius. It's complying with your life of shoulds. It's
Yeah.
actually doing what you want it to do in that moment so that you could still look like the perfectionist,
Mhm.
performative good girl to fit in to the actual life you created, right?
Yeah.
So if you want the libido, you've got to listen to the hits, the whispers, because once you hit to like constantly when I'm like working with clients, like that's what happens. It's like it's the suppression of the inner, it's the soul, like the soul on a soul level, you are under stimulated. And that
Yeah.
is what really truly is happening. It's like, science, with science and all the things going on, we know like the soul lives in here. It doesn't live in here. This is to keep us safe. This is to have us feel and be alive and creative and do all the things. And so when you're understimulated at a soul level, you are underfelt. Like life, it's like you've got what you were describing is like you were waking up and like when life is predictable all the fucking time,
Yeah.
when it's
Yeah.
controlled, efficient, there's no edge, there's
Yeah.
no risk, which
Yeah.
means there is no erotic charge. So if
Yes.
there's no erotic charge, how could your libido come back?
Yes.
And
Totally.
then on top of that, our culture teaches us to be like, well, that's age and you're blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Like there's
Yep.
no, that's the only answer. right? But
Yeah.
have you actually researched other answers? Because
Yeah.
your nervous system becomes dysregulated because it's underfueled, underwhelmed, understimulated by life force, by the erotic charge, the eros. You
Yeah.
are tolerating, if you are living the way that Marta and I were just talking about, you are in what I call tolerating life. You are tolerating. You are not
Yes.
living life, right?
Yeah.
You are surviving and you're doing an excellent job of performing and showing up like everything's great, which it's so much more energy. It's so much more like from you. It's efforting, right? Like it all looks good. So I
And
have,
for whose benefit? For
yeah,
everyone but your own.
yeah,
Like it's not, yeah. I feel like there's the two most important things that I want to say to anyone watching or listening to this about what do you do about this once you recognize it are two things. One, you have to bring pleasure back in, and you have to bring it in like all the time. Like there's a big shift that had to happen for me around no longer putting pleasure in the category of selfish and indulgent. Like I just I had to come to an understanding in my body, not just in my mind, that pleasure is actually fuel, that it is medicine, that it's experiencing pleasure triggers your own body's like natural pharmacy of like the best cocktail of the best neurochemicals that make you feel amazing and boost your immune system and help you sleep and function and all this stuff. Like I had to really like change my relationship with just what does pleasure mean. It is actually medicine. It is actually fuel. Therefore, I'm going to microdose it all day long. That's number one. Number two, I couldn't do this alone. Like being the strong one, the responsible one, the like, I can handle it all got me to this place. It's not going to get me out. It's just going to keep me here, especially because, as we said before, it's hard to talk about this. Like when your life looks pretty good, you feel pretty shitty complaining about the fact that you're not as orgasmic as you used to be. You know, you're like, who the fuck am I to say that? Like that. There's people with real problems. But also, it is your responsibility to live, to like really be the youest you, the most alive version of you. That life force energy contributes to hers and his and to like the way the world works. So you're actually not doing anybody any favors by just being like, okay, fine, I guess I'll just settle with getting old quietly. You know?
yeah. I mean, and like everything you're saying, 100%. And it's like, here's the thing, and it really starts with I really start like believe like, and that's the shift for me. The biggest like how I even got here to this place is I made a decision. I was like, I am going to figure this out. I don't give a fuck where I have, if I have to go to the Himalayas, if I,
Yeah.
because my journey started with like, I thought something was wrong with me. I was going to gynecologists trying to be like, is something wrong? Am I broken? Like, what's like, I was going the science route and their answers didn't like, I'm like, whatever the fuck they're saying. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's just a phase, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, yeah, no. Like, they were
Mhm.
just adding or like, kind of like, it felt so off and wrong.
Yeah.
But I was like,
Yeah.
I know that's not the answer. And I know that I didn't take what they were saying as valuable insight
Mhm.
because before I did anything else, I was like, I am going to have pleasure in my life. Like, I am going to figure this out. I didn't have language either. I wasn't like, I'm going to be turned on again. But that was the feeling experience. Like, it was
Yeah.
like, I need to feel what I felt when I was like a teenager, when I was in my 20s.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want it back. And I don't, there was a part of me that always was like, I don't believe that it just like dies. Like, I don't believe that. And
Yeah.
because I didn't believe that from that place, it was just being like, I am figuring this out. I am going to feel turned on again. I am going to be that bitch again. Like, no
Yes.
matter what, I am going to do it. I don't care what it takes. And it just was that simple. And having that in the back of my mind on a daily basis was like literally the thing that like led me to more answers. And here's the deal. If you are only socializing with women who are getting together and like complaining, it's a competition of complaining of what's wrong in your life, you are never going to have the pleasure. You need to be in community with people who are ahead of you in this or doing it with you at the same time, because that's where you get answers. That's where you learn. That's where you're actually like, wait, oh my God, this is an option. It's like it's a new language, right? It's like when you like, I'm bilingual, you're bilingual. Well, actually I'm like trilingual, but like when you are learning a new language, like the full immersion is like, watching television programs or movies, going out and being in areas where they speak that language. If you
Yes.
want to strengthen that, you get into communities that are like, no, this is possible, this is what's real. And like everyone has different types of turn on. It's not like yours is going to look like mine or Marta's or whatever, but
Yeah.
like there's Eros that lives in you and it's trying to come to the surface and reconnect with you if you have that whisper that I was talking about earlier. And it's really a question of, can you decide right now and be like, yes, then come into community and then learn how to microdose, because it's really hard to like microdose pleasure when you are like, 50 years old and you've never done it before. You've been, like
Yeah.
the way that you've been taught to like, perform, be perfectionist, all like, over functioning, over efforting. It's a muscle that's been built. So
Yeah.
pouring pleasure in microdoses is definitely an answer, but you can't get there on doing it on your own because it's like you're still in the same paradigm. You need the interruption of actually having real
Yes.
life model examples of what
Yes.
we do, what are the steps
100%.
that we take, what
Yeah.
like, because that will, and it's also like a shortcut and a hack, right? It's a hack
Yeah.
for
It's
because
it's it's vital.
it would have
Yeah.
been, I would still be probably like, I've quantum leaped this like life in
Yeah.
so many ways because of community, because of sisterhood, because of leaders that I've hired, coaches that I've hired, my commitment, it's the decision. It's like the decision turned into a commitment and a devotion to turn on. And then
Yeah.
from there, I was like, all right, I don't know what the fuck to do. Because you could read the books, but
Yep.
they are just like an opening. This is an ear, like what you're missing, and ultimately what you're craving and yearning for, even if you're not have the language for, is the experiential life force, right? And you're not going to have the experience.
You can't think your way out of this.
Can't.
Like
It's
what
not.
got you here is not going to get
Not
you out.
right. This isn't like I'm gonna go on a diet. So Monday I'm gonna eat like this amount of protein, and no, that's not what this is. And
Yeah.
so like that's not, and on purpose. That's what makes it different. That's what makes it that erotic Eros life force energy. So you need to sample, you need to do pleasure research. You need, and all of that stuff might sound really overwhelming to anyone that's listening, but when you get into community, you're like, "Oh wait." You learn like the hacks, you learn like the tricks to like microdosing pleasure
And you see
because
it modeled for you, and
right.
you get celebrated for the putting in the work and like the hours on the mat, so to speak. Like it doesn't just you don't just do it by yourself and go, I guess that was good. I don't know. Like you need the sisterhood. That is why we created the Sensual
Yeah.
Sisterhood. This isn't just a plug for it. This is why we created it, because neither of us would be here if it weren't for the sisterhood, for the container that allowed us to have it reflected back, to see it modeled, for the bragging and complaining to be about how we're actually expanding capacity. So
I
if
just
you have this in
yeah.
the sisterhood, what are you waiting for? Like, come and join us. And also, I want to say this, even when you join, there are a lot of women that join the Central Sisterhood and they just come into the thread and they'll post something or they'll share something or they'll ask a question. That's beautiful. That's a great first step. Where you really get the impact, the power, is when you join us inside Premium. It's where you actually get to experience this live. We have live sessions every week, multiple sessions a week, where we together with other women who are on the same journey practice pleasure tools. We do all kinds of things that actually bring you out of your head and into your body. So you're not just microdosing pleasure, you're like bathing in it. If you haven't checked it out, please come. You'll love it. You'll see.
So one of the things I just want to say about all of this is there is a part in many people have seen Jerry Maguire. If you haven't, I highly recommend. Jerry is saying to Cuba Gooding Jr., like, it is an up at dawn siege to be your agent. I'm going to tell you right now, once you actually commit to this, it is an up at dawn siege. This is why we created the Sisterhood. It is an up at dawn siege to consciously, constantly cultivate turn on in a patriarchal world that wants to make you wrong for everything you fucking do when you are at your A game and perfect all of the time. It is an up at dawn siege to feel the aliveness and be like, oh my God, I just feel so delicious right now from my own
It's a fucking
self.
radical revolution
It
to
is an like this is not the reason why you feel like your libido is broken is because they want you to feel like that you are complying with the big like under because if you weren't they can't profit off of they don't profit they do profit off turn on because they use like young girls and the all of that stuff like beauty but like they profit off of you feeling dead inside.
yeah, and buying things to make
Like
yourself
it's
feel better.
a multi-billion dollar industry, right? And then it's also generational because before back in the day when women had turn on, they were burned at the stake for being witches. So
Yes.
like thousands of years. I mean, we can go on and on. So it's like if you are someone who is like my libido's fucked up or you're making yourself libido wrong, I dare you to come into premium and give yourself like 90 days with us, 90
Yeah.
days and see
Yes.
what happens because
Life changing.
90 days, 90 days, and you're in commitment. You are like, I am going to get turned on. I know that there's this part of me that wants to feel dead and it's like is pulling me down, but I am going to do whatever it takes. 90 days.
Yeah.
I dare you. I double dare you because if you're listening to this, you have that voice, you have that whisper of like, so I know I could do something about this, but I just don't believe I can because there's doubt. Doubt is one of the ways they keep you where you are,
Yeah.
disconnected from life force, right? So, like, if you are like, I really freaking dare you to come and play with us for 90 days, check in, do what we tell you to do, and see what happens.
Oh,
And
it's gonna
then,
blow your mind. It's gonna
yeah,
blow your fucking
yeah,
mind. Yeah.
yeah, like, because,
Changes everything.
yo, like, I mean,
Even a week with us is
yeah.
it changes people. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
A week with
yeah,
us, like a week with us
now we're like,
changes
yeah,
people. And it's just like, it's much easier to be like, I used to do this thing too, where it's like, I'm just special. Like maybe I'm just really the broken one. Nobody's
yeah,
really as broken as me. Like that victim, like, and like find reasons not to, because this is a journey, right? It's a journey with yourself. It's a journey with your relationship with yourself. It's your journey with your soul. Like I was talking, it's a soul level journey. That spiritual, like this is sacred sexuality. This is not performative, like porn sensuality. This is you turning yourself on, being turned on by life.
it's way hotter than porn. Like
Way
way,
hotter and
way.
much like and way more exciting and like I mean you and there like we could talk till we're blue in the face, but until you actually do the research and do the work, you're
Yeah,
like no longer allowed to be like something's wrong with me and my libido. There's nothing wrong other than you're being a really good girl and complying with what you've been told to
yeah,
do.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Living on autopilot, living from the neck up, living in the cage they created for you instead of really living.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: if you don't do something different, if you don't do what we've been talking about, do it in community, whether it's with us or someone else, although why wouldn't you join us?
Yeah.
Do it in community, microdose pleasure, like make pleasure a fucking priority because it is fuel, because it is medicine, because it is actually your life force coming into the world. If you don't do that, not only will you stay with this flat kind of like what is missing feeling, but it will get worse. And the day will come when you take your last breath. And do you want to look back on that and go, oh, I was so perfect? Or do you want to actually feel like I fucking lived? I'm ready. I'm good. I'm ready to go. Like, it just seems like so obvious. And we don't often think about that because no one wants to think about their mortality. But the truth is, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And nothing is wrong with you. This can absolutely change. It is the culture, the conditioning. It's just a bunch of patterns that have been created. You can create new patterns. You can create new patterns. Come play with us. We'll show you how. Yeah? All right. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for this delicious conversation. I hope it's inspired you to come check out the Sensual Sisterhood. We'll see you next week for the next episode. Mwah.
Thank you.